just taking a weekend to Zanzibar.
If you're in London, maybe that's lucky, that's 1 bedroom. And the costs basically.
I actually love that, having the hot hair, having sun all day, waking up to sun, brightness.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am V Memoirs, aka Veronica. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things that I really love about living in Tanzania as a diaspora. So the first thing, the first thing that I love about moving back and living in Tanzania as a diaspora is the cost of living, the costs basically. That has some costs, because some costs in Tanzania is actually higher than the UK. But I'm generally talking about cost of services and cost of like food. For example, at the moment, I live in an area in Dar es Salaam where I paid for an apartment, which is a 2-bedroom apartment. I'm obviously comparing this relatively to the UK, which is not quite fair, but I'm paying for a 2-bedroom apartment for like $500. In the UK, this would have been, depending where you are, this would have been like £1,500.
If you're in London, maybe that's lucky, that's 1 bedroom.
Or it could have been maybe 1,000 where I was living in Cardiff. So just having the access to a really big house, like 2 bedrooms, one of them's guest, for like a quarter of the price is amazing. Or relative. It's obviously dependent on the income you're on. A lot of people think I'm crazy living in this kind of place here. I could go cheaper actually, but I decided not to.
The other thing I like about the cost in Tanzania is the cost of all services. Do my hair, do my nails, do lashes.
I now do lashes monthly. I have like individual lash extensions. Every month there's a date, waxing, you name it, having a cleaner and a cooker that comes in like 2 or 3 times a week. Like you would never ever even think about that stuff in the UK. It's just not an option. You have to be like the 1%. In Tanzania and a lot of African countries, a lot of Asian countries, this is not a luxury. Even those like with very low income jobs can afford what we call a dada in Tanzania, but actually it's like a cleaner and a cooker. So for example, I'll give you a slight budget. In the UK, I would spend like £100 doing my braids, like if I'm in London. In Tanzania, I spend 60,000 Tanzanian shillings, which is equivalent to maybe like £20. And that's like, I've taken my hair, I've washed it, I put braids, I'm done. And that's like still like on the high end. To do my nails, it costs me, both my hands and my legs, gel. It cost me 50,000 Tanzanian shillings. In the UK, just hands alone, it cost me £25, and that's like my friend's business. That's equivalent to maybe in Tanzania 60,000. That's just hands. And then if I had feet as well, and the way they do it, they clean it up, like I'm just like, it's such an affordable. So just things that I just would have never considered, like even owning a car here is so much cheaper than owning in the UK. Insurance, you know, you have a bit cheaper affordable insurance, and petrol is slightly.
I should think about that. I don't think it is slightly cheaper.
Either way, cost of living is worth it. Like it's so great. That's the best thing. Like I've been able to live a lifestyle that I would never imagine in the UK. Like I don't even look at my clothes. I don't clean.
So the second thing I like about living and coming back and living in Tanzania, particularly Dar es Salaam, is the weather and the food. So on the weather, some people might disagree with me. I live in Dar es Salaam. It's a coastal city in Tanzania. It's not the capital, but it used to be, and it's hot. I will do a video that will be published soon that will give you a day in the life of a diaspora living in Dar es Salaam. It's not hot all throughout the year, but it does get really hot. Right now as we speak, if I don't have an AC and a fan on, it's ridiculous. Get up to 35 degrees, maybe 36, but that's not what makes it bad. The badness of it is humidity. It's so hot, like it's sticky.
I actually love that.
I lived in Timor for about a year. Timor is also an island. It's also very humid. I genuinely enjoyed it. The most makeup prone location, but who cares? Like I still wear makeup and I still sweat my ass off. Junction to the fact that it's a hot place and it's humid is the access to the beach. Having the hot hair, having sun all day, waking up to sun, brightness, just makes me happy. I just don't go well with like darkness and cold and rain. It's just not for me, and a lot of people can agree. I just feel better. I feel like there's just more hope when I wake up and there's the sun and you can go to the beach and read your book. The second thing I mentioned in this point was food. It's amazing in Tanzania. Actually, I think in the region we go quite well when it comes to taste of food. I've collected a couple of survey questions from my expat friends and Kenyans and Ugandans. And Tanzania generally has amazing food quality, and that's because of two things. One, because we have really good soil quality across the country. We produce a lot of fruits and vegetables and just like export a lot. We have really good rice. And then the second thing is because we are a country that was heavily influenced by almond basically culture and the Indian culture. Our foods are mixed with a lot of spices. We have like coconut everything, spice everything, palau, like everything's sort of Indian, and chapati and so on.
So the food here is great. I don't have Tanzanian food all year round because I will get fat basically.
That mangoes, bananas, pineapples, like it's really pretty cool. Third thing I like about living and moving to Tanzania, Africa, access to nature, and this means access to the beach, access to mountains, access to just everything. Tanzania is located in the eastern part of Africa, right on the east. It's a coastal sort of country based in Dar es Salaam, which is again a coastal city. It used to be the capital city up until 2016, and then now we're just commercial. And the capital city is Dodoma in the center. Generally, I could walk out of my house, drive 10 minutes, and I can see the ocean. Plenty of beachside bars and beachside hotels you can access to. And I take a ferry, and I'm 1.5 hours away from Zanzibar. People would fly from America to come to Zanzibar. I'm an hour and a half away, and I've been there more times than I can remember.
It's almost becoming like, oh, just Zanzibar. Oh, I'm just gonna go to Zanzibar.
Just taking a weekend to Zanzibar. It's pretty amazing actually. It's such a good advantage to have and access to have that you take it for granted. And actually I remember whenever I used to come back in Tanzania and I didn't go to Zanzibar and I want to go to Zanzibar, it's just something to look forward to. Now living here and having been able to go there really easily, I've done so many trips there with friends. The things that I have access to aside from the beach and Zanzibar are mountains. We've gone hiking in a place called Morogoro, which is about 6 hours drive from Dar es Salaam. I absolutely love nature, I love hiking. You don't have to go that far. There's a couple of places as well. We have Pugu Hills, which is another area you can go to. By the way, if you are in Dar es Salaam and you want to check out all the places to check out, I've got a list of things included below from all TripAdvisors and my own advice. Also, obviously Arusha, which you guys have heard of in Tanzania. It's much more cooler than Dar es Salaam. It has access to like Mount Meru. If you want to do Kilimanjaro, you can climb Kilimanjaro. And then you go further down in Iringa and sort of down there's a lot more mountains. Mbeya, amazing mountains. You can check out Lake Tanganyika in Kigoma area on the west, sort of bordering Rwanda and Burundi. And just the full country is just full of nature. Have access to a car and a group of friends, camping and nature, and everyone who's a nature lover. Such a great country for that. I haven't maximized it. I've kind of gone a couple of places in the year that I've been here, but I will be planning more trips outside to check out more places. The fourth thing that I really like about being back in Tanzania and in Africa as a diaspora is just the comfort zone discussion. I speak Swahili, luckily. If you want, I can do a video on Swahili. I have a Lugha Swahili sort of company. I teach Swahili on the side. Again, link below. But yeah, I love being back home, speaking Swahili. My Swahili has gotten so much better since I came back. Like, I was speaking Swahili before, but no, now now I'm really great. Like, I'm still making mistakes here and there, but people are forgiving, and it was just really good to adapt back to my place. And Tanzanians are a really lovely group of people, nation. Like, they tend to be known to be very friendly and very welcoming, both to foreigners, but also to like people like me. It's about effort. You have to make the effort to come back. There are some cases where I've seen, because I have siblings who don't speak Swahili, and the Tanzanians get confused, like, oh, why don't you speak Swahili, Tanzanian? And my sisters have cried before. They've like literally gone into tears. They're like, oh, they're making fun of us. It's not as if we don't want to speak Swahili. It's just we haven't learned it. But I don't think they mean it in a bad way most times. They're just being Tanzanians. But if you can speak, so if you do make an effort to Swahili, or you can speak Swahili, then it's pretty welcoming. I feel like I'm at home. Like, I've always felt like I'm at home here. I mean, it is home, but I know some diasporas do struggle with the idea of going back home but not feeling quite home. I have another video discussing this, but sometimes being a diaspora has that challenge of where is home here, but sometimes I don't, but I feel home there, but sometimes I don't. And you kind of just accept that you're kind of like both feet. Like, you're here and you're there, and that's okay. And that coexistence, it's okay. The fifth thing I like about moving back to Tanzania is I'm proudness in them. but at the same time, being Tanzania has its uniqueness. I guess this is more unique to me than it is if someone else was to just move to Tanzania. It's more unique to a diaspora. I'm proud to be African, and I think it's a movement now, especially maybe after the year of the return. I feel like there's a lot of diasporans being very proud to be African and trying to find their way back in. I'm obviously a first generation diaspora, so I have a bit more closeness to my country than a lot of other diasporans would have. But you can be proud diaspora living in the UK, in Europe and US, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of us I know are seeking to move back here, at least to try. I think I also wanted just to give it a try and just see if it was for me. And I think part of that was obviously, you know, because I know where I'm from. I was born in Tanzania. I knew the history, I knew what the country was about, and I'm just very proud. Tanzania is a very proud country to be part of. Some challenges, I'm not going to try and beat my horn about Tanzania as if we don't have challenges, we do. And I will talk about in another video. This is something you only realize being in a diaspora position. I've seen this in Tanzanians themselves, when they're like, oh, there's nothing great about being Tanzanian, it's a boring country, it's just a beach, it's just Zanzibar. It's just like, for them it's just like, it's just is like, what's different? So I'll give you an example, a story even. Tanzania is actually quite a Pan-African country, the likes of Ghana and other countries as well. We speak Swahili as our national language, and I'm sure many of us know that. Kenya does as well. But actually in Tanzania, we take it a bit more seriously than that. So it's our national language as primary. They teach Swahili in school. All subject words for technology in Swahili. Don't ask me what that is, I'm still like learning myself. We invent Swahili, we really capitalize in Swahili, we've grown it out. And to a point now, the Swahili has become a huge language. Over 200 million people speak Swahili. It's become an AU, an African Union language, it's become an UN language, and it's growing. And Tanzania is like the center point. We really have a lot of tribalism. Actually, we don't have it all because of the united language that is Swahili. And we have about 120 different tribes. Just because it's such a rich language in Tanzania, we have songs in Swahili. We've actually, our industry, the music industry, has become really big. I'm sure some of you have come across the name Diamond Platinums. That's predominantly because of the language. Like, we really do gravitate the language to a point where it just has to be celebrated. So coming back as a diaspora and knowing what it means to be African and knowing what it means to own our own stuff, have our own language, it's good to be around this culture and kind of celebrating myself as a Tanzanian. So thank you for checking out my video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want some more, please don't forget to subscribe. Also make sure that you're alert for any new videos coming next time, that you get to be the first one to see it. Support, like, comment, let me know what you think about the 5 things I mentioned about being diaspora. I would love to hear about your experiences if you are a diaspora, and if you're not, I'll still love to hear experiences either way on living in Tanzania or living in Africa, and what are your favorite things. All of the stuff that I mentioned in this video, the links should be below on the comments, below the comment section, and see you next time.